I think obviously you want to keep seeing it grow, keep increasing the numbers of girls playing, so that creates more opportunities for girls to play on, all girls teams if they want, or maybe there's multiple girls on a mostly boys team. You're kind of seeing it across like the coverage of sports, like women's sports in general, like they're a booming industry. And it's one of those things that, the more we see women's sports on TV, the more people are going to want to play them. In all sports, I think it's changed just in a sense that there are more girls playing. It just gives girls more choices. Like you just never know where the opportunities are going to be, but the more crossover you get between things like that, is never a bad thing. When you give people the opportunity to show you what they can do, a lot of times they're going to succeed, and I don't think that's any different, women or men.
My name is Molly Dorighi. I'm a senior. I am the captain of the girls flag football team here at Creek. Honestly, it came across my Instagram, and I saw that Knuckle and John were the coaches, and like, why not join it? It would be so much fun. When I saw it, I was so excited and just excited or ready to do something different than basketball. The flag football environment is unlike any other sport environment I've ever been a part of. I mean, last year's team was the most enjoyable group of girls to be around ever. Everyone's very we're competitive and we want to win, but we also are just laughing at practice, enjoying our time together, which I think makes us more unique than other teams, because we genuinely like to be around each other and we're doing it for each other. The biggest difference is the contact. Technically speaking, girls flag football is non-contact, but with all sports there's contact. There's no field goals. There is punting and punt returning, but there are no field goals. You can just go for 2 or go for 1, but by going for 1 or 2, you are going for another touchdown, technically. Well, last year we lost in the state championship, so obviously our goal is to win state this year, but I think just showing, I wouldn't say the world, but showing the community that you can win and have fun and compete all at the same time is something that most kids are looking for or striving for in a sport, especially at a competitive place like Creek High School. Those sports that you list, hockey, football, are seen as boy sports, men's sports, and so girls are deterred from going to those sports because they don't want to be seen as masculine, they don't want to be seen as doing a boy sport, whatever the reason. And so bringing awareness to that and showing yeah, girls can play too, and we can still be girly, and we can have our nails painted and our cute little eye black, but we can still win and we can still compete, is something that I think little kids should look up to. So just bringing that awareness and showing girls that, yeah, we can play football too, is just so exciting for the next generation.
I think it's really cool. I think it shows, and I think flag football too recently became a high school sport. I think that that just shows that when those things start happening, it shows how many people want those things and are looking for those things and asking for those things, and just again to have those opportunities. And I think it just shows, I think it shows that there is a huge interest in it, and it's only going to continue to grow.
Hi, I'm Susan Bosier, and I'm the assistant captain of the Cherry Creek Lady Bruins. I'm a goalie. I got into hockey when I was very young. My parents basically told me, you gotta play a sport, so I got into hockey. As someone that's played both, I will say the boys just have harder shots, but also I'd say that the boys kind of, because they're allowed to check, they're not as careful with their positioning in corners because they know they can just hit. Girls usually have to do a bit more thinking to get it out because if they just hit, it's a penalty. I mean, my freshman year was only boys, so I went into boys, and that was admittedly a lot different from what I was used to. I was used to having the community of the girls on my other teams, and as soon as they opened it up for girls, I was just so happy because even if it's not necessarily for me this year, like we're starting years are always tough, later on there will be girls that'll be able to have high school girls hockey. I think it's important for it to be chatted regularly because honestly, it's not as though we don't have enough people. We definitely have enough teams to run it, and there are a lot of girls in Colorado. So being able to have something like high school is just right there, and it's a totally viable option. And also varsity hockey, though, especially for girls, since we don't have the opportunity, that's huge. I just hope so much that this can keep on going. Having high school be like a stable thing that you can just go into and be with your friends and see people from other schools is really helpful. I think that, at least from the perspective of me, they take boys a lot more seriously. I've won 3 state championships in a row, but not a lot of people care because it's girls, even though that's a lot to do. I think that's a huge problem, is that we don't get taken seriously even though we put in just as much work as the boys. We might not be as fast as them or because of their biology, but we put in just as much work and we try just as hard. I'm really hoping we can get it so we can actually do by school. Right now, girls hockey is at least by district. So the Cherry Creek district is the Cherry Creek team, not Cherry Creek school. But if there's enough girls in hockey, then we can do like Cherry Creek High School hockey team. Then you have Grandview High School girls hockey team. I would really hope that someday we have enough girls and materials to be able to do that, so we can have it as big as the boys. Seeing the PWHL, you can be like, hey, that's something I can do. That is something that people are doing. That there's something out there for me, you know? And it's just kind of cool to see a role model like that. Being able to see girls goalies where I'm like, I want to be that, and I can do that if I try hard.
In all sports, I think, there's a ton of studies and research that shows that kids that are involved in sports, do a lot better as they grow up in terms of jobs and being able to work with a ton of different people, know how to work as a team, know how to problem solve. So I think, the more kids you get involved in those activities, just the better every industry is. I think it's kind of a thing where the more diverse those places are, the more good ideas get brought to the table, the more those women that want to be in those positions. So, I think it's just something that we see across the board in every business. More of the issue for me was exposure, just because there are no Division I women's hockey programs like farther west than St. Louis or Minnesota. So that was more of the issues I kind of faced with it. But that was when I switched over to the Colorado Select at my junior and senior year, I guess. And that's where I kind of learned the ropes and the recruiting process and all that. So I think it's nice that parents and kids can figure out what fits for them, what works for them. Like the PWHL games being on YouTube and that's free to watch, like being able to watch girls hockey, like having it at your fingertips. That's always something we've said as a national team. If you can't see it, you can't be it. So to have the opportunity for it to be so accessible for girls to be able to look up and see professional hockey players and be like, I can do that one day, I think is huge and will only help hockey gain popularity. Looking forward to the future of the PWHL, I think the more teams we can get and the more markets is just going to grow the popularity of the sport. And same with NFL flag. Like, I mean, obviously you're seeing a lot of female involvement in the NFL right now with Taylor Swift, and but who knows? Like, girls getting exposed to football now that otherwise might have hated it, or now like, maybe I'll try flag football. The more people see what they can be, and then it opens up a ton of options for the people coming after. I hope a lot more young girls get to have the same experience I did.